Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a part exchange car which has come in to us. This is a Honda Civic 1.8 Type S GT. The car's registered OV58VSM with a mileage of 85,859 recorded. The reason we do these videos is essentially so, regardless of the car in terms of its value, you get to see the very car we're advertising actually in operation, because it basically gives us opportunity to let you know of any issues that might be with the car before you come to see us. And it's particularly relevant on older part exchange cars like this, because obviously the newer stuff which we're buying primarily for stock, clearly we've obviously checked before it comes to us, so they should be good. So coming to the car itself, I'm going to go through all the things like I do on all of my videos. Starting with the engine, starts instantly and settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car actually. Temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle as well, so all in fine order. Engines are fantastic for lots of reasons. First and foremost, being a Honda, they are incredibly tough and reliable over very, very big mileages, as long as you look after them reasonably well. They're cam chain driven, there's no cam belts to worry about, but that's only really half the story, because it's an engine which, when using day in, day out, is just a really lovely unit. It's very quiet, very smooth, very refined, so sweet natured in terms of the way it drives. It's flexible, it pulls keenly from very low revs. When you do put your foot down, you get that lovely kind of induction noise, very muted but typical Honda. It's got a lovely sound to it, really, really has. Sorry, I'm just going to pull the camera slightly away from the window because it's just going to touch on there. But yeah, no, just a really fabulous engine. Also very economical. I've owned loads of this particular type of car over the years, and I generally averaged somewhere between 40 and 45 to the gallon. So, I mean, they are, it's a very impressive unit. Engine then feeds through into the clutch and gearbox. Clutch is perfect, bite point's exactly where it's meant to be, and it's lovely and smooth in operation. And then you have one of the best manual gearboxes you're ever going to use. It is so slick, so quick, snappy, everything about a gearbox that I personally love. It really is a fabulous box, and that changes gear as it would have done when it was new. They don't seem to sort of show great wear with age or mileage on these cars, but that is a really fabulous gear change. Coming to the steering and the chassis of the car, which is kind of what these cars are all about in lots of ways. It is one of the most direct cars you will ever drive. The steering is instant, scalpel sharp, incredibly precise and accurate. So if you want a family car, as this is to some degree, it's practical, but still want to enjoy your driving, these are a fabulous choice. And the steering is all, it's all about the steering and the chassis, because the steering, as I said, it just works with the chassis brilliantly. The weighting's really nice, but you just hardly have to turn the wheel and the car's moving. It's wonderful. It also, by the way, tracks dead straight. There's no vibrations at the speed or any speed up to the legal limit actually. The chassis itself, people have said in the past, sorry, I'm going to move that camera away again, the ride actually by modern standards is very good. It's only sort of sharp ridges that tend to catch it out, as you find afflicts virtually every modern car. It is on the firmer side, but for those that love this sort of car, it's a very small price to pay. But personally, I love the balance and the compromise they come up with on the car, because it just allows the car to really flow through corners beautifully, and it can tuck its nose in on the sharper stuff with so eager. It really, really is. Chassis, by the way, there's no clonks, no rattles coming from underneath, so all in very fine order. Brakes are very, very good on the car. Lovely, powerful brake pedal. I'm not going to go too mad because that camera's going to go flying forward. But the brakes are very good. There's no sort of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal at all. So It's exactly as you'd hope it would be. Finally coming inside the car, it literally is a trade car, so it hasn't been cleaned or valeted, but it's actually very clean in here. And I've always loved this interior, so I am massively biased. I openly admit that, but I still, this car's what now? It's like 15 years old. It still feels quite modern in here. The dash design, I think, is absolute genius. I really do. Obviously, they've changed a couple of things. You've got this upgraded Pioneer stereo being put into the car by the lady that owned the vehicle. Things, in terms of condition, it's really nice. There's no squeaks, no rattles, nothing at all. It's been kept very, very nicely, I have to say. Electric windows work, electric wing mirrors work. They're meant to power fold. You press a button, the left one starts to move, the right one doesn't seem to move. That is actually really easily fixed. You can buy what's called an SOD unit, shut-off device, off eBay. Don't buy them off Honda because they're a fortune. 20-30 quid, you can get them repaired as well. To get those to work, you just pop the little caps off the end. Apart from that, everything else seems to work really nicely. I'm always hesitant with air conditioning to say whether it works on a car of this vintage. Assume it doesn't, because it's an older car and the air conditioning systems on these weren't actually great. Even Honda admitted that, because they sorted it on the next generation Civics. I'm trying to think of anything else. Obviously, I mentioned in the video there is water ingress into the boot, the lower section right at the bottom. Common on these Civics, actually, very, very common with age. The normal, I'm not saying it is, but the normal is just take the light clusters off the back, put some black silicone around them, pop them back on, so you've got a seal, and also the centre one as well, the one that runs across the hatch, and that normally sorts it out. I've done it countless times on countless Civics over the years. Not something I'll be tending to on this at the price we're selling it at, because I just simply don't have the time. But fundamentally, in terms of how the car drives, it drives absolutely beautifully. Can't fault it. It drives like a modern car.